Hi everybody and welcome to the class. I've decided to do this online session so that for those of you who can't come on Monday at 4:30 or at 7:15, you'll still have an opportunity to participate in yoga. So let's all go to our mats and begin the session. I want you to start today's class sitting on your heels if you can. And as always, we'll take a little bit of time to settle in, to find our focus, to find our breath, to find our calmness. So get into a comfortable position. Be placing your hands on your knees. Close your eyes for a moment. And just begin to breathe in and out through your nose. Inhaling into your belly, feeling the belly expand. Exhaling, gently pulling the belly button towards the spine. Decide if there's something you'd like to focus on today. Setting an intention if you'd like. And then we'll open our eyes and begin to combine movement with breath. So let's begin as we always do by inhaling deep through the nose and lifting our hands to the sky, maybe looking up, getting that first stretch of the front body. And then we'll exhale down, stretching the fingertips away from the body. Inhaling up, stretching the arms out as far as we can. Exhaling as we come back down, dropping the chin to the chest, pulling the belly button towards the spine, activating the abdominal muscles a little bit as we begin to breathe a little more deeply here. This time when we bring the fingers up to the sky, we'll interlace our fingers and then turn our palms to the ceiling or to the sky, reaching up. We'll inhale, and on the exhale, we'll arch the back, pressing the shoulders far apart, stretching the arms forward. Then as we inhale, we'll open the chest up a little bit, just giving the spine to move a little bit, exhaling forward. Inhaling, open the chest. Exhaling, dropping the chin to the chest, pulling in the belly. Then we'll bring the hands to our sides and behind us, and we'll clasp our fingers together behind us, opening the chest, looking up. Exhaling, bringing the chin to the chest. Inhaling, pressing the arms down to the ground, looking up. And then coming back to neutral position. Inhale, bring down the right arm, stretch to the right. Inhale, exhaling, leaning to the left. Inhale, exhale. Let's just turn the head a little bit to loosen up the neck before we move into tabletop position. and continue on our hands and knees. Just loosening up the head, do whatever feels good for you. Maybe rolling the shoulders a little bit. And then we'll come to all fours. And I'd like you to start off here by turning your fingertips towards the knees. This is really going to give you a stretch up the inside of the forearm, especially important if you spend a lot of time on the computer or typing. And then just go ahead and do whatever feels here good for starters. And if this doesn't feel good, by the way, then just feel free to change your hand position. So we'll turn our hands to the back. Let's rotate a little bit here. And we'll begin with cat-cow. So on the inhale, we'll drop the belly, lift the chest, lift the tailbone, lift the chin. And then on the exhale, we'll pull up the spine, press out of our hands, tuck the tailbone down. Inhaling again, we drop the belly, lift the tailbone, lift the chin, and exhale. Let's turn our hands back around and come back into child's pose. So we might want to open our knees a little bit wider. Our toes are touching behind us. And we'll sit our hips back down on our heels and bring our hands out in front of us. I'd like you to use your claw fingers today. So we're going to put all of our weight on our fingertips and just feeling a little bit more stretch here than along the arm than we would if our hands were down. So we use our claw hands, letting the head drop down to the floor, feeling the stretch in the lower back and the shoulders and in the arms. Inhaling deeply into the lower back here. And then we'll walk our hands off the mat on the right side. And here you're going to feel the stretch along the arm and right into the hip. So really feeling the side stretch here. And then walking the hands to the other side, off the mat, keeping our fingers clawed, dropping the head, and feeling the stretch this time on the right side of the body. Still breathing deeply in and out of the nose. Coming back to center. I'm going to take the blanket off of my mat and take my socks off just to get a little bit better grip here as we come into our first downward dog. So we're coming out of child's pose, tucking our toes under, and then lifting our knees off the ground. Perhaps keeping the knees still nicely bent and pushing away from the floor with the upper body. Arms are straight, fingers are nicely spread. Fingers are gripping into the mat to take the pressure off the wrist. And then we may want to pedal here a little bit, or we just want to keep the knees nicely bent for this first downward dog. Head can hang down, nice and loose. And then we'll slowly walk the feet up towards the hands, tucking
in our shirt if we need to. We'll stay in a forward fold again with the knees nicely bent. The head is hanging. Really feeling the stretch in the lower back, in the hamstrings. And then from here we'll slowly roll up to a standing position. Arms reach up to the sky. And then let's swan dive back down to our forward fold. The belly is tucked in as we move down. Forward fold. Then let's come up to a half lift so we can hold on to our shins, or we can put our hands on our thighs. We want to straighten the upper back. Extend the head forward. Just really feel a nice elongation in the back. Then back down to forward fold. Maybe the legs a little bit straighter this time, maybe not. And then from here we'll roll up again to Tadasana. And we'll do that one more time. Raising the arms up as we inhale. Exhaling down. Inhaling up to half lift. Exhaling to forward fold. Bending the knees slightly. Rolling up. And one more time. Inhaling. Exhaling. Pulling in the belly. Forward fold. Half lift. And then from here, we'll step back into a plank. So again, we want to make sure that the hands are under the shoulders. Our feet are about hip distance apart. And then we'll bring down our knees. And remember to tuck your elbows tight and come down onto the mat. Let's flatten our feet against the mat and bring our hands off of the mat, using our claw fingers, coming up for our first cobra. Inhaling here, exhaling, one more time, inhale, and coming down to the mat. And we'll do that 2 more times. So take an inhale here, exhale, inhale as we press off of the mat, up, perhaps looking up, breathing, and coming back down. And last time, inhale, exhale, and on the next inhale, raising the chest off the ground, strong legs, looking forward, breathing through the nose, and coming back down. Bringing your hands beside your chest, and this time your hands flat on the mat. We'll come up to downward dog. Maybe this time our hamstrings are a little looser. We can press our heels into the ground. And we'll walk the hands forward, forward fold. Just stay here for a moment. back up.
Come into Tadasana. The shoulders are down. My tailbone is elongated. I'm engaging my abdominal muscles. My neck is relaxed. We clench and release the fingers a little bit. Then we'll inhale in. Exhale, forward fold.
Half lift. This time we'll come back into downward dog. And lift the left leg for a three-legged dog. Holding here for a moment. Let's bend the knee and flex the foot and open the heel to the side. Feeling the stretch. Then we'll square the hips back up. Step between the hands with the left foot. And then let's turn the right foot 90 degrees as if we were coming into a warrior two position. We'll stay here for a moment. In a low lunge. Let's take the hands off of the mat. Come up for a moment, opening the heart. And then come forward on the inside of the leg for a humble warrior position. Maybe sliding the back foot down a little bit. So our fingertips are on the ground. Our head is facing towards our fingertips. The spine is straight. And our hips are facing towards the back. This is called humble warrior. The back leg is strong. Front leg is supporting us. Spine is straight. And we'll walk the hands back. Come back into plank. Dropping the knees, chaturanga. Cobra. Downward dog. And this time we'll step into three-legged dog, lifting the right leg. So lifting the leg. Bending the knee. Opening the hip. So pushing that knee away from the body. Feeling the opening in your hip. Feeling the stretch from your calf muscle into your hamstring muscle, into your hips. And then we'll come back to three-legged dog. Bend the knee. Step between the hands, turning the left foot 90 degrees. Come up for a moment, opening the chest, and then bringing the hands down to the mat, perhaps sliding that foot down a little bit, extending the arms forward and the buttocks back for humble warrior. Let's carefully turn towards the middle, facing the feet forward. And we'll do an inside thigh stretch. So let's go to the right side first, bringing the body over towards the right knee. And then we'll walk the hands over, bend the left knee, and stretch the inside of the right calf. And we'll do this for a couple of times, depending on your own flexibility. If
You can go all the way down. Just being careful, just sort of warming up these inside muscles. We'll do this a couple more times. Really feeling that stretch. Flexing the foot if you can. And then we'll turn back to the front of the mat. Come into downward dog. Plank. Chaturanga this time, maybe with straight legs, knees off the ground. Cobra or upward dog, your choice. So upward dog, we're lifting the knees off the mat. And then we'll bring the knees down and come into child's pose. For a small rest. Either keeping our arms forward or perhaps leaning our forehead on our hands. And let's go ahead and go back into downward dog. So we'll put our hands forward, curl our toes under, come into downward dog, and from here we're going to jump our feet forward to our hands. So bend your knees, jump forward, come to a half lift. And then from this position, we're going to come into pyramid pose. So I just want you to step back about 2 feet with your left foot. And keeping both legs straight and the spine straight as possible, we're going to work towards bringing the chest to the knee. So it's going to look something like this, or maybe you're going to be up here. Perhaps you'll have 2 blocks. And we'll hang out here for a little bit, concentrating on our breath, releasing perhaps a little bit further with each breath. Deep inhales, deep exhales. And then we'll bend the front knee, step the legs together, and then we'll just simply step back with the right foot and come into pyramid pose again. So both feet are straight. We're concentrating on the hip being pushed back. So we're not up here, we're really pushing this hip crease back. We're either on our fingertips or we're on blocks. Hips are facing forward. Deep inhale through the nose. And on the exhale, imagine that the chest is coming towards the knee. Really concentrating on the breath here. The front leg is strong. I'm using my quadricep muscle to support my hamstring. So the knee is being pulled up and my quadricep muscle is tight. Head hang. And then we'll step the back foot forward, bend the knees generously, maybe wrapping our hands behind our knees, maybe keeping the feet a little bit further apart for balance. Just hanging out here for a moment,
Stretching the lower back, relaxing the hamstrings in this case. Nice and loose. Just really relaxing. And then from here we'll come down to a sitting position. And we'll stretch out the hips a little bit with seated pigeon. So the right foot is on the mat. We can use our hands for support here. The left shin comes over the right knee. And then bringing the foot wherever is comfortable for you and using the hands as support, opening up that left knee and feeling the stretch in the outside of the left hip. Flexing the foot to give extra support to the knee and coming to a position where you can really feel the stretch, but the position is still comfortable. Remembering to breathe in and out through the nose. But otherwise, just taking a moment to relax here. And then we'll switch to the other side. So the left foot is flat on the mat. We lift the right foot. Might be a little easier to extend the leg a little bit until you have your foot crossed over, and then lifting up the leg. And this side may be very different than the other side, so just take each side very individually. We're going to flex the foot. Try to open up the knee so that it's not here at the chest. Opening up the chest as well. And then finding a position that's comfortable for you that you can hold for 3 or 4 breaths. And then settling into this position, enjoying the hip stretch. If this isn't doing it for you, please feel free to lie down on your back and do the same thing in supine position. So we've done this one a couple times before. Just change to the other side so you can see. Same position, just lying down. Might be easier for some people, so just another option here. And if you're lying down, come back up to a seated position. We're going to come into boat pose. So leaning back a little bit and finding your balance on your tailbone. We're going to bring our knees up and towards our chest. So they're either going to be here somewhere or here, depending on your balance. And then we're going to pull in the belly, activate the abdominal muscles, and let go of the legs. We're going to breathe in and out through the nose. Our shoulders are dropped and relaxed. The neck is relaxed, and we're just going to stay in this position for 4 to 5 breaths. So if you're feeling tired, you can go ahead and hold the back of your legs and just support yourself a little bit. If you're feeling like you've got a little bit more in you today, feel free to straighten the legs, perhaps straighten the arms. Hold this one for a few breaths or as long as you can. And we maybe go back into a bent position. And then we bring the feet back down and come to a wide position, pulling the knees to the chest, and then bringing the
feet to the floor and just resting the stomach muscles for a moment. And then we'll continue doing something for our back muscles. So get the heels aligned with the hips. So your heels are approximately where your sitting bones are. If you take a look, your knees should be straight. We don't want them turned in. We don't want them opening. So if there's a straight line from your knee to the hip, and if you can touch your heels to your fingertips, you're doing great. And then from here, we're going to inhale, exhale, and on the next inhale, begin to roll the spine up slowly into bridge position. And then once we're here, we're just going to make sure, slow down a little bit further, we're going to make sure that our knees, just take a little peek that our knees are still straight. And then we really want to use the buttock muscles here, and by contracting the glutes, we're activating the back muscles as well. So we have the option to just keep the hands like this at our sides, or we can clasp our hands and tuck the shoulders underneath a little bit, which lets us lift the hips a little bit higher. And then we'll breathe deeply into the belly, through the nose, inhaling deep into the belly, exhaling, letting the belly button drop towards the spine. Constantly rechecking, just feel if your knees are over your feet. Then we'll release the shoulders, open the hands, and gently roll down vertebrae by vertebrae until we're back on the mat. Neck is extended, shoulders are soft, and just take a moment to relax. Then we'll continue to work the back muscles, only this time we're going to be lying on our stomachs. So lying down on your stomach. I want you to have your feet about hip distance apart and your arms extended in front of you. Your forehead can be on the ground. And for starters, I want you to lift your left leg off the ground and your right arm. Just hold this for a moment. Really extending that hand, extending that foot away from the body. And then bringing it down slowly, and same on the other side. So we're lifting the right foot and the left hand. The neck is in a neutral position, so we're looking down at our mat and really stretching the foot and hand away from each other. Breathing down, other side. Right hand, left leg. And down. Other side. And this time we'll just go a little more quickly, so we'll bring the hand and the foot up and down, other side up and down, and we'll continue doing this. all of our back muscles here, from the shoulder right down into the buttocks. Wonderful. And then if you can, let's try lifting our legs and our hands, all four, same time, and holding for 2 breaths. And bringing everything back down to the mat. Bringing your hands in front of you, placing your temple or your cheek onto your hands. Maybe moving your hips a little bit to release the lower back. Turning your head the other way. Then bringing your hands beside your chest or under your shoulders. We'll come back up to downward dog. Ooh, give those muscles a little stretch. Your feet are hip width apart. Your hands are shoulder width apart. Your fingers are spread. Looking towards your navel. Stretching the entire spine here. Bending the knees and bringing the chest towards the thighs. And then straightening the legs. I'm just really enjoying this stretch. And we'll walk the hands back towards the feet. Rolling up to Tadasana. And work on a balancing pose. So our balancing pose for today is dancer's pose. We've done a lot for our back. We've worked our stomachs. We've stretched the thighs. So let's see how we do here. This is a pose that uses the back muscles, the leg muscles. We count on our balance. Balance is different every day, so let's just see how we do. So from Tadasana, strong legs, strong abdominal area. We're going to bring our weight over to the right leg, keeping the body under tension. We're going to lift the left leg up and back. And take the back foot. And then bring the leg up as far as we can. Wonderful. Back down. Great. And we'll try that on the other side. So an option that we have here, especially when we're just working on learning this pose, is just to hang onto the wall while we're finding the position. So weight on the left leg, strong torso, we're lifting the leg, bringing the shoulder back, taking the foot on the inside so that the thumb of your hand is pressing into your foot. So we're really needing an open shoulder here as well. And then without arching the back too much, we're going to lift the foot and bring the body forward. And then you can experiment a little bit and just see if you are ready to let go of the wall and perhaps straighten the arm. Feeling the difference again between the two sides, using the wall when we need it. Wonderful. And then coming back down. Super. Then let's come back down to a sitting position. Lying on our backs. Pulling the knees to the chest. Extending the chin to the chest so that we're feeling the stretch in the back of the neck. Pulling the knees down. And we'll come into baby pose. So we're taking the feet, this time on the outside of the feet, left and right, opening the knees up, pulling them down and really feeling the stretch in the lower back. And then from here, just take a moment to do whatever you feel that you're sort of missing that you might need to do. So I like to stretch my legs in this position. Maybe you want to bring your feet together and your knees out. Coming to a butterfly position. Just doing whatever it is you feel like you need to do. Stretching the legs one at a time. Stretching the legs together. And then we'll come up for a seated twist. So crossing the legs. We'll raise our arms up on the inhale. We'll twist to the right on the exhale. So the left hand comes to the right knee, the right hand comes behind us, and we twist starting with the torso, then the shoulders, then the head. And stay here for a couple of breaths. On the next inhale, we'll come out of the position and move to the other side on the exhale. Back arm supporting us, twisting from the center, then the shoulder, then the head. And coming out of the position, the head, the shoulders, the torso. We'll come into a forward fold with crossed legs. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, moving the upper body towards the floor. You can round your back, put your elbows onto the mat, hold your chin, bring your chin down to the mat, whatever feels comfortable for you here. Really relaxing the neck here, letting the hips open up. Gently rolling up. And coming into Shavasana from here. So Shavasana is something that you can do on your own time. We'll just come into it for a moment and then the video will come off. So please stay in Shavasana anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes or as long as you'd like. Cover yourself up with a blanket. Allow your mind to be still. Allow your muscles to relax. Your body to feel all of the changes that it's just gone through. So our hips are lying comfortably on the mat. Our feet are almost mat distance apart and the feet are falling open. If we tuck our shoulders under a little bit, it's more comfortable to have your palms facing the sky. But if that's uncomfortable for you, you can extend the shoulder blades, bring the shoulder blades apart and keep your palms down. So whatever works best for you. And extend the head by putting the chin to the chest just a little bit and then letting the head lie comfortably on the mat. Closing your eyes. Inhaling through the nose into the belly. Exhaling through the nose, letting the belly button drop to the spine. Beginning to feel the relaxation as it washes over your body. Allowing the mind to stay empty. Thoughts will come, thoughts will go. And we just continue breathing and going into a deeper, relaxed state. So enjoy the Shavasana, and I hope that I'll see you soon in person. Thank you.